went through the gates of European football, there to find so many nights filled with glory and excitement, 3 shimmering trophies, and a host of marvellous memories. This is a record and celebration of those years, the years of Blanchflower and Mackay, Greaves, White and Bobby Smith, Chivers, Peters and Gilzine, and more recently Hoddle, Ardiles, and an improbable young goalkeeping hero named Tony Parks. At the centre of it all, through these years, an architect of most of it, one man who's given 50 years of his footballing life to the club, Bill Nicholson.
Well, going into Europe means so much to a club like ours. I think it's absolutely essential that we've got to be in Europe almost every year. It means so much to the players, it means so much to the staff, it means so much to the supporters particularly, and there's no doubt about it. It puts you in a stage higher than just the Football League.
The European adventure begins in 1961 after Spurs became the first club this century to win the League and Cup double. They beat Leicester 2-0 in the final and win the championship by 8 points, with football of pure quality that overcomes their closest rivals, Sheffield Wednesday. Into Europe, first stop the bleak coal fields of Poland to face their champions Górnik, a gift, this cart carved appropriately out of coal. It's about the only thing that comes Spurs' way on a night of near disaster.
When we actually played the match, we wondered what had hit us because we were 4 goals down at half-time. And we managed to get a couple of goals back. I think at half-time I was beginning to feel that all was lost. But certainly after the match, when we'd got our 2 goals back and when we knew we'd got to play them at home in the second leg, that we're still in with a chance here.
The return leg at White Hart Lane goes down as one of the most memorable in all those 25 years. It's a night when Spurs fans become the famous Angels, seeking to balance the criticism for that alleged brutal play in the first leg. It's the night when the famous battle cry, "Glory, glory, hallelujah," is born. More than anything, though, it turns out to be an amazing night of Tottenham celebration.
And 1-0. Dyson through to Smith. Now Dyson again. Blanchflower, big player marked. There's Dyson. And Jones is there. He scores! A goal! They're level. And third goal by Jones. And so, 24 minutes long. Górnik not moving with anything like the speed they did last week. Now Lentner and Pohl. A great goal! A brilliant goal! Spurs 5-1 in the lead. And it's 6-1. Yes. Goal by Bobby Smith. So, back comes Spurs. It's out to Dyson. Dyson to Blanchflower. Back again to Dyson. Is this number 7? It is. Is Jankowski moving in? What a chance for Pohl. And he's missed it. Back to Blanchflower. Seconds ticking away. A great save by Costa from Jones. Guy, now a chance for White. He scored. 8 goals to 1. Spurs are in the lead. Right, 10 goals to 5, but the great hero of the night, certainly 21-year-old Hubert Kostka in the Górnik goal.
Spurs sweep through. The older Spurs fans still glow when they ask, were you there the night they thrashed Górnik? Next round, victory over Feyenoord of Holland, a 3-1 win in Rotterdam, 1-1 at White Hart Lane. And now there arrives at White Hart Lane a 21-year-old who's to become one of Tottenham's greatest heroes. Jimmy Greaves signs for £99,999 from AC Milan. Billy Nick apparently doesn't want to break the £100,000 barrier. And Jimmy himself is earning what at the time is described as a staggering £180 a week for a 21-year-old.
Is that all he was, 21? Jimmy, obviously, he was a goal scorer, a good footballer. He could play football also a lot better than what a lot of people thought. But he was well-known, well-renowned for his goal-scoring abilities, the way he could put the ball in the back of the net better than anybody else, and all done so simply, was just the hallmark of his real ability.
Better maybe than anybody that you've seen, do you think?
I would have to say that I don't think I've seen anybody that could score goals better than him. The great Maradona, of course, who we've seen quite a lot of during the summer in the World Cups. Well, I've got to say that I feel that he would maybe qualify.
But Greaves, you'd be around.
Oh, yes. Mm.
Did you have a few run-ins with him sometimes? I mean, I don't think he admits himself he wasn't the greatest trainer in the world, and he was...
Well, he says that, but I've only had one up and a downer with Jimmy Greaves in the training area. That was in the ball court on one occasion. But...
And what happened there?
Well, obviously I was dissatisfied with what he was doing, and he exploded, I exploded, so we both exploded. But the interesting thing and the most important thing was the next morning when we arrived at the ground, we both were in the car park. He was getting out of his car as I was walking through the car park. And as soon as he saw me, he said, "Good morning, Bill." I said, "Good morning, Jim. All right?" He said, "Yes, yes, yes." And it was all forgotten. No animosity with Jimmy Greaves.
Back to European business, Jimmy Greaves not yet qualified to play, and next the masterly Czech army side, Dukla Prague. Spurs lose 1-0 in Prague, but what a comeback again in the snow in the second leg.
Danny Blanchflower lost the toss at White Hart Lane. Spurs versus Dukla with 64,000 watching as the home side kicked off. In white, the Tottenham Stars matched the snow-white pitch. The ground was frozen and treacherous, yet it was Spurs who showed early signs of adapting themselves to the conditions better than their opponents. White fired in a shot, it was parried, then Mackay banged the ball into the net. To the crowd's amazement, it was disallowed. Blanchflower's free kick found Bobby Smith. This time it was a goal beyond doubt. Dukla's turn to attack. The ball went to inside left Adamek. Brown did well to save. Now level on aggregate, Spurs began to send victory. White sent a perfect pass to Mackay, and just watch how he scored. Half-time, Spurs 2, Dukla 0, but what a shock on the resumption. Jelinek pounced on the ball. Goal for Dukla. Again, the teams were level on aggregate. Back in England form at centre forward, Bobby Smith was in position to get his head to the ball and scored. Within 60 seconds, Spurs struck again. A shot by Mackay found the net. Spurs now led this game 4-1, on aggregate 4-2. Barring bad luck, they'd put Dukla out of the European Cup. But in the visitors' goal, Kuba was safe. Spurs had one anxious moment, but Brown just managed to save. Congratulations to Spurs, through to the semi-final in the European Cup.
Benfica in the semi-finals. Spurs play well but lose 3-1 in Lisbon. Another blistering night on offer in the second leg.
At White Hart Lane, Benfica, holders of the European Cup. Jose Aguas out in the centre met the officials and Danny Blanchflower, who lost the toss. Could Spurs pull it off? That was the question 64,000 fans asked themselves as the white-shirted Tottenham heroes stormed the Portuguese goal area. Jimmy Greaves gave goalkeeper Pereira his first touch of the ball. Already 2 goals down in the semi-final first leg at Lisbon, Spurs need to win this match by a margin of 3 to be in the final. Anxious moments here, but Joao kicked clear. Narrow escape for Benfica, and play moved quickly to the other end. Great believers, this famous team, in a goal in the early minutes. Simo centres, Aguas nets, goal to Benfica. Spurs attack on the right. They have to score 3 goals now to draw level on aggregate. Greaves tries to reach the ball, but Pereira saves. A pass from Bobby Smith finds Greaves. It's in. What tragedy for Spurs. The goal disallowed, offside. But they're fighters, these Spurs, every one of them. Surely sustained attack must bring a goal. And after 23 minutes, reward comes. White gives a perfect pass to Smith. Goal! Back comes Benfica, and somehow Spurs' goal survives. At half-time, each side has scored 1 goal. Spurs now have only 45 minutes to draw level on aggregate. But they come out fighting, and this is their own ground with their own crowd. They're still full of hope. Troluna fouled John White. A penalty. The kick's taken by Blanchflower. Goal! So Spurs are really back in the game. Another goal and they level. A free kick. White takes it. Now an escape for Spurs. Benfica have the ball in the net. This time it's their turn to have it disallowed. From now on, Spurs can do everything but score. For Benfica, it's sheer nightmare. In the closing minutes, Henry puts the ball in the centre. Mackay heads. It hits the crossbar. The Spurs have lost.
Benfica celebrate, and the Portuguese go on to win the European Cup. But Spurs win the FA Cup. They beat Burnley 3-1 in the 1962 final. What about a team picture here? Back row, left to right, Peter Baker, Big Maurice Norman, Bill Brown, the goalkeeper, Billy Nicholson, Ron Henry, and Dave Mackay, and sitting from the left, Terry Medwin, John White, Danny Blanchflower, Bobby Smith, Jimmy Greaves, and Cliff Jones. And the first match is against Glasgow Rangers at White Hart Lane.
59,000 at White Hart Lane see Danny Blanchflower and the opposing captain at the toss-up. And it's Bob Shearer who wins. And what an atmosphere as Spurs kick off. It's the first leg of the Spurs-Rangers tie in the European Cup Winners' Cup. A vintage match, if ever there was one. Spurs in all white. Jones tests Ritchie, and it's evident these pride of the South Tottenham men are all out for an early lead. Allen wins a corner. Greaves is taking it. John White's in the middle. Goal! Spurs are 1 up after only 4 minutes and producing top of the league form. But the great Rangers are top of their division and soon show they can attack too. Centre forward Miller's shot goes wide. Rangers are great on the wing. Cutting in, it's wee Willie Henderson who gets the equaliser. So the first 10 minutes have produced 2 goals. Spurs back on the attack. It's going to be a game to remember. Billy Ritchie's in great form. Another corner. Greaves takes it. White scores. Rangers counter-attack. There's determination about their play, spelling danger for Spurs. But when left winger Davy Wilson gets his head to it, it's over the bar. At the other end, Spurs take up the run. Centre forward Allen in possession, and it's in the net. Spurs outside right, Medwin tries a shot and gains a corner. Again, Allen fires in a shot. Bobby Shearer puts it in his own goal. Rangers deserve better than to be 1-4 down, and back they come. And it's bad luck when a good move fails to earn a goal. Almost on half-time, the brilliant Willie Henderson centers to the head of Jimmy Miller. It's Rangers' second goal. Half-time, Spurs 4, Rangers 2, but this great team from Glasgow aren't daunted. They've wiped out bigger deficits before and won the match, so Spurs know they can't relax with safety. A good Spurs attack here is foiled by Ritchie. Ritchie has to be link side every second of the game, facing the most dangerous forward line in England. Rangers remind Spurs that they're still very much in the game. Left half Jim Baxter forces Brown to concede a corner. Spurs got away with that, so it's their turn to attack. And now centre forward Allen wins a corner. Greaves takes it perfectly. Centre half Norman scores. So Spurs win 5-2.
And Spurs are not finished yet.
Danny Blanchflower wins the toss at Ibrox Park, and more than 80,000 fans look forward to super football as Rangers kick off against Spurs in white. It's the second leg of the tie in the European Cup Winners' Cup. Tottenham's victory at White Hart Lane means that they start this match 3 goals to the good. Very soon the ball goes to Greaves and Spurs are 1 up. Rangers' goal survives the next onslaught. You'd think even Rangers would be daunted, but their attack's in gear now and Wilson nearly scores. So it's Spurs 1, Rangers 0 at half-time. Spurs kick off on the resumption, but get an early shock. On the right, Willie Henderson's in possession. This great little outside right crosses perfectly. A header by Brand. Goal! Bobby Smith is just over the bar with a good shot. He's back in the team after long absence, and he scores. Rangers try desperately to hit back. Surely the fans think they can't lose at Ibrox Park. Henderson takes the corner, but Brown keeps it out. Lucky for Spurs. Rangers sweep goalwards again. Miller passes to Davy Wilson. He scores, 2-all. Again, the gallant Scots give Spurs a fright. Brown saves Macmillan's shot. Now the genius of John White shows itself as the ball goes towards Bobby Smith. A header, and it's another for Spurs. So Spurs win the right to meet Slovan Bratislava in the quarter-final.
And nobody enjoys this victory over Rangers more than 2 of the Scots in the team, Dave Mackay and John White. And they are next in action in Czechoslovakia against Slovan Bratislava, where another Scot, keeper Bill Brown, plays the game of his life to keep the Slovan score down to 2. Then it's another Tottenham comeback in the second leg at White Hart Lane.
Spurs supporters turned up in strength for the return match with Slovan. Facing a 2-goal deficit, Spurs needed that rousing home support. Right away they showed great style. Certainly goalie Schreif saw plenty of action. Nevertheless, it was half an hour before the first Spurs goal, a Dave Mackay special. That was the beginning of the end. Spurs second, a gem from Jimmy Greaves. Just before half-time, a fine centre and a Smith header put Spurs 3 up. On aggregate in this European Cup Winners' Cup encounter, they were now ahead. Second half and Spurs flat out for a galaxy of goals. Only Schreif kept them out. Not for long, though. Spurs fourth and Jimmy Greaves second. Well and truly in command, they produced some really fine football, though Cliff Jones headed the goalie as well as the goal. A few minutes later, White notched the 6th. With this 6-2 win, Spurs massacred their opponents and their critics.
Jimmy Greaves sent off. That's the headline from the semi-final. He's dismissed in Belgrade in the first leg against OFK. But Spurs still win 2-1 and then book their place in the final in the home leg.
OFK Belgrade kick off against white-shirted Spurs in the second leg of the semi-final of the European Cup Winners' Cup. Bobby Smith looks dangerous in the opening exchanges. Spurs won 2-1 at Belgrade. They keep that advantage now thanks to Bill Brown. There may be some needle in this game. Spurs resented Greaves being sent off in the first match. Now it's White's chance to menace the visitors, but the luck isn't with him. After 23 minutes, Dave Mackay scores for Spurs. The team and their fans are jubilant, but only for a few minutes. A combined OFK attack brings reward when inside left Skoblar equalizes. Another assault, spearheaded by Mackay, tests Vidinik again. Only 2 minutes now to the interval. A pass to Mackay, to Jones, goal! Half-time, leading 2-1, Spurs kick off on the resumption, but the first danger comes from Belgrade. Within 2 minutes, the ball comes in from White. Bobby Smith dives to head it. What a goal! Bad luck for Belgrade. Just over. Much as the 60,000 crowd would like more goals, Spurs don't seem able to oblige. Here's that needle we prophesied. Fortunately, it comes to nothing. One last effort by left half Gugleta, but it's wide. So Spurs go into the final against Atletico Madrid in Rotterdam. May they show their best form.
Billy Nicholson remembers that 1963 European Cup Winners' Cup final against Atletico Madrid in Rotterdam, the first British team, remember, to reach a European final.
For our smallest player, Terry Dyson, he was the star on that occasion, wasn't he? I'm going to give him the credit, anyway, for being the star on that occasion, because the other fellas always got the glory. Players like Jimmy Greaves have started us and put us on the way, actually. But that was Dyson's cup final, really.
Enter Spurs and Atletico Madrid for the final of the European Cup Winners' Cup. After the long series of preliminary rounds, this was the climax. Winner take all. Would it be Madrid in striped shirts, the pre-match favourites who kicked off with this promising attack? Or would it be Spurs, who found themselves every man Jack, or should I say Jim, in fabulous form? Watch Jimmy Greaves shake the post from this Dyson corner. A minute later, and it's Greaves again to give Spurs that all-important lead. That was the goal, that was. It certainly inspired the Spurs to even greater efforts. White notches goal number 2. Madrid's half-time pep talk brought an early reward. Fullback Henry punches out a certain winner, but Collar scored from the resulting penalty. It certainly put new life into Madrid. For 20 minutes, they bombarded the Spurs defence. But Spurs held out, and in the 67th minute, Dyson put them further ahead. Spurs were playing like the real champions they most certainly are. Greaves made it 4-1. Finally, Dyson made it 5-1. What a game. Danny received the cup that cheers not only him and Spurs supporters, but every English soccer fan.
Were you surprised at how convincing the victory was?
I was, yes, because I didn't think we'd beat them as easily as we did.
And how did that rate amongst the great Tottenham performances at that time?
Well, it's got to be rated highly because of the importance of the occasion. And it was at a place that we've always been very sort of friendly with, the Rotterdam Stadium, Feyenoord Stadium. And we loved it out there. We loved the people there. And of course, when we had to play the final there, it was really nice. You know, went there and we seemed as though we'd been there several times before, and it turned out to be a really good day for us and for the supporters.
In the 1963-64 Cup Winners' Cup, Spurs are drawn against Matt Busby's Manchester United. The first leg is at White Hart Lane.
Tony Markey on the right spins the coin for Noel Cantwell to call and lose the toss for Manchester United. Spurs gladiators on view as usual, and the crowd of nearly 60,000 see United kick off. Tottenham wear the all-white strip. This is the first leg, round one, of the European Cup Winners' Cup. An attack now on Spurs' left wing. In United's goal, Gaskell begins like a man in top form. Back comes Spurs, and Greaves slams it into the net, but it's offside. Danger for Spurs when Bobby Charlton shoots. Brown saves. It's half-time and there's no score. Spurs resume in determined fashion. Jones shoots hard, Gaskell saves again. United look dangerous here, anxious to get the first goal of the match. Spurs goalkeeper Brown tips it over the bar. Fortunately for Manchester United, Gaskell plays like an England goalkeeper. Still no goals after 67 minutes, and then Mackay scores with a blockbuster. Danger man for United is Dennis Law. They force a corner. United aren't daunted by Spurs' one-goal lead. Law tries with a great shot. Brown does very well to save. A pass by Dunn is seized on by Dyson. It's a goal for Spurs. Victory in the first leg, 2-0.
The second leg is at Old Trafford. A bitter blow for Dave Mackay. His left leg is fractured, but Spurs' 10 men battle magnificently, but in vain. Bobby Charlton sees to that.
Teenager Sadler kicks off for Manchester United against Spurs at Old Trafford, and very soon Hurd brings Brown into action in Spurs' goal. It's the second leg of the tie in the European Cup Winners' Cup. United are intent on wiping out their 2-goal deficit. Sadler's pass finds Hurd. He dives to net a beautiful goal. For Spurs, Greaves shoots. Just over. Now tragedy for Spurs. In collision with Cantwell, Mackay breaks his leg. In this game, the crowd will see no more of the Iron Man. Jimmy Greaves shows the spirit of the Tottenham side. Though reduced to 10 men, they still attack all the time they can. Centre-forward Smith really tests Gaskell. Back come United. David Hurd shoots again. Spurs kick off in the second half, of course with only 10 men. And they're still attacking. United only lead 1-0, so there's still hope for the Londoners. Hurd has the ball. It's a goal. Spurs are 2 down at this stage, but they're still in the game. Even their defence turns to attack. Right full-back Peter Baker is up there to show what he can do. The ball goes to Jimmy Greaves, and it's one for Spurs. A tonic for Tottenham, that goal. Fortunately for Spurs, Brown is at his brilliant best. Spurs left-back Ron Henry tries the shot. United must have 2 more goals to win on aggregate. Bobby Charlton scores. A shot by Hurd gives no difficulty to the Brown. In the dying minutes of the game, Charlton scores again. For Spurs, Cliff Jones tries an overhead kick, and then the game's over. Winners by 4-3 on aggregate, Manchester United have knocked the holders, Spurs, out of the European Cup Winners' Cup.
Dave Mackay, visited by, from the left, Jimmy Greaves, Terry Dyson, Dennis Law and Bill Brown. He'll miss the rest of the season. But in the following summer, Spurs were struck down by a tragedy. The great John White is killed by lightning as he sheltered under some trees on a golf course. John, capped 22 times for Scotland, was one of the finest inside forwards of his era. They used to say, if John White had an off day, so did Spurs.
Oh yes, he was a wonderful player, John. He's got fantastic control. And at that time I'd been getting 1 or 2 of these bogus calls at home. And I got this also on a Friday. They seemed to be coming in on a Friday. And, well, after checking, it was obvious that it was true. And I asked Cecil Point to come to the hospital, to the morgue, and to identify John. And, oh, it was a real sad occasion.
The faces change. Spurs are out of Europe until 1967. Dave Mackay and Jimmy Greaves are still in good voice, but now they're joined by the likes of Alan Gilzean, Alan Mullery, Mike England, Cyril Knowles, Terry Venables and Pat Jennings. And Spurs get back into Europe by beating Chelsea in the All-London 1967 final. Spurs beat Hajduk Split of Yugoslavia in the first round, lose 1-0 to Olympique Lyon of France in the away leg in the next round, where Alan Mullery is sent off, and in the home leg the French go through on the new system then of away goals. Again, new faces before Spurs are back in Europe in 1971. Martin Chivers